Hi friends, welcome to my channel, and today in this video I am going to show you Active Directory migration from Windows Server 2016 to all new Windows Server 2019 step by step. So in this video we are going to migrate Active Directory infrastructure, basically Active Directory and DNS role, from our Windows Server 2016 server to Windows Server 2019, and post migration we are going to verify everything is working fine, like client machine having no issue with new domain controller which is going to be promoted 2019. And once everything is fine, then we can go ahead and decommission the 2016 domain controller, and we are going to finally have only one domain controller which is going to be run on 2019. So basically in this video we are going to see the migration, we are going to see the decommissioning of old domain controller altogether. So let's get in. So this is my infrastructure which I am going to use in this demo environment. So basically we have 4 machines here, 2 are Windows Server machines and 2 are Windows 10 client machines. So the first machine is Win2K 16 DC01, which is my Active Directory and DNS server. You can see from here, and the IP address is 192.168.0.151 is for my primary domain controller, and this I have assigned 8 gig of memory to this machine, and my domain name is victorinfosol.lan. So let's verify. So you can see this is my Win2K12 DC01, and you can see IP address is configure 192.168.0.151. My domain name is victorinfosol.lan, and if I go here you can see Active Directory and DNS is running on this machine. So if I go on tools, and here you can see all the Active Directory management tools are installed. So if I go and click Active Directory users in computers, you can see we got connected to victorinfosol.lan. and if I go to domain controllers, you can see we have one domain controller which is currently active as a global catalog, which is Windows 16 DC01, which is this machine itself. So this is only one domain controller in infrastructure. So we are going to migrate this domain controller from 2016 over to 2019, and this is, you can see this is Windows Server 2016 standard edition. So before migration you have to make sure your AD infrastructure is healthy and you have no existing issues with your AD infrastructure before migration. So if you have any issue with your Active Directory or DNS or anything related to Active Directory, like FSM or roles, you have to make sure those things are fixed, and then you can proceed for the migration. So let's verify the DC health. So there was a very simple command to verify the DC health, so which is DC DAC. Oops, there was typing mistake. So DC DIHE DC DAC. So you are going to get some this type of report, like you can make sure everything like domain infrastructure, everything is passed, so you have no existing errors or warning related to your DC infrastructure. Like you can see the running partition test on a schema passed successfully, and now checksum for the different schemas, and you can see like what is the status of the KCC events, and you can also verify the connectivity is good, and we have like advertisement is good, FRS event is good. So you have to make sure you don't have any problem with your existing domain controller. So once everything is good, you can see from here result everything is passed. So then you can go ahead and migrate the server from your existing domain controller to new. So also you can go and verify your like DNS settings. If you go to DNS settings, you can make sure your DNS server is working, and you have all the like zone is working, and you have like everything, the entries are there, and you are able to see those entries, and basically you have to make sure DNS is working properly. So this is good. So this is my Active Directory infrastructure. Also you have to make sure your like group policy is also going to be migrate from one server to another server. So since you are going to add new server in your domain infrastructure, it's automatically going to sync your all group policy, AD information and DNS information to another DC. So basically it's going to replicate data for Active Directory, DNS and group policy, so you don't need to bother about these three things. So doing migration. So this video is going to like take care about the Active Directory, DNS and group policy. So this is our first machine, which is our existing domain controller. So the second machine is our Win2K19 DC01, which is a, you can see I have marked as a green. So this is a brand new machine which is configured with the like 8 gig of memory. So I'm going to configure this machine and promote this server as a domain controller and DNS server, and then we are going to do. So let's verify this machine. So this is, you can see Win2K19 DC01. So as I told, this is a brand new machine. I have not done any changes on this machine. So you can see I have not renamed, IP address is not configured. So this is bare machine. So I have just installed Windows Server 2019 Data Center Edition. So I'm going to like configure IP address and join this machine in domain, and post this we are going to verify our client machine. So I'm going to join this machine. So I'm going to join as information. So I'm going to set the IP address 192.168.252 and my gateway address, and the primary DNS I'm going to make the old DNS, and second one is going to be my this machine itself, because this machine is also going to be old Active Directory role. So this is good, and I'm going to type last DNS as my router address to get the internet. So this is good. So IP address I have configured. I'm going to disable this enhanced security. This is good. So IP address configured, and now we are good to join this machine in domain. So I'm going to join this machine. You can see IP address is configured. So I'm going to rename first. So Win2K19 DC01, and I'm going to join in domain victorinfosol.lan. So let's type the credential to join this machine in domain. So welcome to victorinfosol.lan. So this is good. So now we are good to reboot this machine. So I'm going to reboot this machine. So this is good. And one more thing, I want to change the DNS setting here for my primary domain controllers. So these machines are going to get now 252 and one more DNS for router. So this is, I have made these changes on both our domain controllers. So this is good. And now let's move to next machine, which we have client machine. So I have two client machine, Win10 CL01 and Wintel CS02. Both are running Windows 10 Enterprise Edition. So let's verify. So this is my first machine. You can see this machine is also joined in my domain Win10 CL1 victorinfosol.lan. So if I go here, cmd, and run set command to verify where this machine is logged in, so you can see the current logon server is Win2K16 DC01, and if I type here who am I, so I can see I'm victorinfosol user 01. So this is Active Directory server, and this is AD user account. So let's verify this here. So if I go to Active Directory users and computers, expand India, you can see here we have workstation. So both workstation are there, Win10 CL01 and CL02, and if I go users, you can see user 01, 02, all users are here. So this is good. So same verify on my second machine. So you can see this machine is joined in my domain victorinfosol.lan, and if I go here and run set command to verify logon server, so you can see Win2K16 DC01, so which is good. And who am I? So I am logged in as a victorinfosol user 02. So these two are client machine which we have. So now this is good, and now you can see the machine is joined, 2019 machine is joined in my domain. So this is good, and now I'm going to log in on this machine by using my victorinfosol administrator account. So victorinfosol and administrator, and password for my administrator account. So now I'm going to install Active Directory roles on this machine and promote this server as an additional domain controller. So we're going to do that now. So just wait for a few seconds to verify the information. So machine is renamed, so I have done this configuration like machine is renamed, IP address is configured, machine is joining domain, and now we can go ahead and install Active Directory and DNS role, which I'm going to do now. So click on manage, add role and features, so click next, and Active Directory and DNS is a role based installation, so select role based installation, and here you can see our server. So click next, and here we need to select Active Directory domain services, and these are the management tool for Active Directory infrastructure like group policy management tool and remote Active Directory management tool. So add and click next, and then here on feature page leave the default, click next, and just click on install. So what this installation is going to do, this is going to install Active Directory domain services binary and these management tool, and then we are good to promote this server as a domain controller, as an additional domain controller. So we are going to do that now, so just wait for a few more seconds here to get this installation done. Ideally it should not take more than 30 seconds, so let's wait for it. So configuration required, installation succeeded. So now you can see installation is completed, but we got button here to promote this server as a domain controller, which is we have to do because we are going to promote as a domain controller and DNS server. So promote this server to a domain controller, and here we got three options. So I'm going to add an domain controller in existing domain because we have this domain, and we are going to add this domain controller 2019 in our existing domain, and then we are going to decommission our old domain controller. So this is good, click next. And now we have to select the site name and password for DSRM, directory service restore mode. So we are good. You can see my site name here, and I'm going to type my directory service restore mode password here. In case anything goes wrong, we can recover domain controller by using directory service restore mode. So click next, and here we can see we have only one domain controller. If you have more than one domain controller, you will see all the domain controllers here. So I'm going to select my single domain controller which we have, and click next. And this is the default location for like database, Active Directory database, log file, and sys volume. So I am going to leave all these path default. Click next. And so what this machine is going to do, the install domain controller wizard will need to perform the operation, forest and schema preparation, and domain preparation. So previously, like if you are doing this in very old machine like 2003 or 2008, so you have to do it manually, but now this wizard is automatically going to take care of these things. So this is good. Click next, and this is the review option what we are going to do. And if you want to see the script also, what the script Microsoft is going to run on backend, you can see here, like it's going to import the ADDS deployment module, and then it's going to install Active Directory domain controller and global catalog false. So no global catalog false means it's going to be a global catalog, and all other details are there. So this is good. So we are good to go ahead and click next, and now it's going to run the pre-request checks. So if everything goes well, we are going to have an installation button. So now you can see all pre-request check passed successfully. Now we can go ahead and click install to begin installation. So click on install button. So now this machine is going to be promoted as the domain controller, and it's going to hold Active Directory role, DNS role, and group policy management server also. So you can see it's going to install everything one by one, and then it's going to automatically going to reboot. So you can see it's securing machines, securing Kerberos, configuring DNS services on this machine. So it's going to take care of all the things one by one. So you can see the server was successfully configured as a domain controller, and now it's going to automatically take reboot, and post the reboot we need to come again and verify the things. So since this machine is going to reboot, we have to make sure our client machine got changed with the correct IP address. So I'm going to change my IP address on my DNS IP address on my client machines, because eventually we have to like decommission this old server 2016. So I'm going to remove 151 from DNS, and I'm going to give only one DNS to 152 on my client machine. So let's do that. So IPv4, and I'm going to change it to 52. Apply. This is good. Now let's do it for CL02. So I have changed the DNS setting on both our machines, and we are now good from client machine. And so you have to make sure if you are using DHCP server to provide IP address on your client machine, so you have to make the changes on a DHCP server itself. And if you are using a static IP address on some of the client, you need to change it manually. So this is good. Now server is rebooted. We can go ahead and hit control-del to verify. So I'm going to log in on this machine. So post the installation, you have to make sure you check DNS IP address, because DNS IP address is always going to change after installation of the domain controller. So I'm going to change the check the DNS setting and change it. So if I go here on DNS IPv4, and here you can see one IP address is added, 172.1 loopback address basically. So I'm going to remove it, and we are good now. So everything is healthy and green. So now we can go ahead and click on tools and open one by one. Like I'm going to verify group management group policy management console first. So we are able to see the group policies, and just to make sure we are able to create, so I'm going to create one GPO called like firewall. So we are able to create the group policy also. So this is good. And just verify DNS is working fine on 2019. So you can see all the DNS entries is there, and reverse lookup zone is also copied. So this is good thing. And now let's verify site and services. So I'm verifying everything on new servers to make sure everything is running fine. So you can see I'm able to see Active Directory, go in Active Directory site and services, and able to see both the servers. So this is good thing. And now let's verify Active Directory domain and trust is also able to browse. So this is good, and we are able to go in properties and see the trust. If there was a trust, you are able to see it. So now finally I'm going to click on Active Directory users and computers, and just want to verify our domain controllers. This machine is moved to domain controller. So now you can see we have two domain controller. One is 2019 and version is 2016. So I'm going to remove 2016 from a global catalog server, because we are going to demote this machine. So this is good. Now the next task is to move the FSMO role from existing domain controller to the new one. So I'm going to open a command prompt and run netdom query FSMO to verify FSMO role. So currently you can see all the roles are running on 2016 machine Win2K 16 DC01. So I'm going to move it to 2019 machine. So from Active Directory users and computers, I'm going to right click on my domain name, and here we have operation master. So I'm going to click on that, and you can see currently it's running on 2016 Win2K 16 DC01, and where you want to transfer. So I want to transfer Win2K 19 DC01, so I'm going to change. So this is going to transfer the RAID. So are you sure want to transfer of operation master roles? Yes. So the operation master role successfully transferred. So this is good. I'm going to do it for PDC and infrastructure all. So this is also transferred successfully. Now finally infrastructure is also transferred. So now let's verify once. So you can say this is all three roles has been PDC, Red Pool Manager and Infrastructure has been changed to 2019 server, which is Win2K19. So this is good. And now to move domain naming master, we have to go to domain and trust, and from domain and trust we need to right click on Active Directory domain and trust and go to operation masters. So you can see currently on running on 2016 machine, which is Win2K16 DC01, and we are going to move it to DC0 or Win2K19 DC01. So this is good. This is also transferred successfully, so we are good with this. And now the only one thing is left, which is schema master role. So you can see everything is transferred. So we have left with the schema master. To transfer schema role master, we have to first register the DLL for schema management registry. So I'm going to do that. So command to register is reg svr32 and schema sem gmt. Oops, so sch mgmt dot dll. So now you can see the DLL registrations register server is for schema dot dll succeeded. So this is good. And now I'm going to launch mmc, and from here I'm going to connect add snipping. So you can see now Active Directory schema management. So schema, I'm going to add this. So now, so currently you can see this is connected to 2019 server. So we have to connect to other operation master where we want to transfer. So I'm going to change the Active Directory controller and I'm going to connect with 2019 server. So this is good. So this is going to give you a warning, like if you are not connected, this is not going to migrate. So now if I go to operation master, so you can see where this role is currently online and where we have to transfer to the Win2K19 DC01. So I'm going to change it. So are you sure want to transfer the operation master? Yes. So operation master transfer successfully. So this is good. And now we can go and finally verify if all the roles has been transferred. So now you can see all the roles has been transferred to Win2K 19 DC01, and we are good to go and decommission our old server. So you have to make sure if you are doing this in production, so you have to make sure you shut down your old server for few days, and if you have no issues rebooted, then you can go ahead and with the decommission process. So since I'm just trying to give you the demo here, so I'm going to decommission 2016 machine today in same video. So I'm going on 2016 machine, and let's try to basically demote this machine. So I'm going to do remove Active Directory users, basically roles, remove roles and features. I'm going to click next, and this is my server Win2K16 DC01. So if I'm going to select Active Directory domain services and remove features, you're going to give this is going to give you option like Active Directory domain controller need to be demoted before uninstalling the role. So we are good to go and demote this domain controller. So now this is good. So make sure you are not doing this for the removal. So it's going to be like basically it's not going to do anything forcefully. So we are good with this. Just click on next, and then with proceed with DNS server removal also. So click next, and you have to make sure you put the new password for administrator, because this machine is going to be joined in domain. So you have to log in with the local administrator account if you want, because the domain administrator is going to be not available on this machine, because this is not going to be a domain controller anymore. So click next, and then what this is going to do, remove Active Directory roles from this computer, and make this computer as a member in this domain. So this is good. Click on demote. So this is going to take few minutes to get this machine demoted, and then finally we are going to have only one domain controller in our infrastructure, which is our Win2K 19DC01. So let's wait for some time to get the demotion complete, then we will verify. So you can see removing LDAP and remote RCP protocols. So demotion completed. So successfully demoted Active Directory domain controller. So now if I go on my domain controller 2019 and refresh this, you can see now the machine has been removed from here and from domain controller, and we have only one domain controller visible now. And if I go in computers, you will be able to see that computer is moved here. So now you can see Win2K 16 DC01 is rebooting after demoting the role. So now we are good. I'm going to log into this machine and verify. So now you're able to see Active Directory and DNS is still going to show because this machine is still having Active Directory and DNS role. So we can go ahead and remove role and features again and click next. And this is our server Win2K 16 DC01, and now I'm going to select Active Directory and domain and services, and DNS also I want to remove, and click next, and then restart the destination automatically if required. So removing Active Directory and DNS roles, it's going to reboot, and also it's going to remove all these administrative tools for Active Directory management. So click on remove. So these features are going to be removed, and server is going to be automatically take reboot. And once this reboot is completed, we are able to see there was no Active Directory and DNS role is going to be stay on this machine. So just wait for a few more seconds to get this machine restarted. So now this machine is rebooting. So it's configuring some features. Now I'm going to hit Ctrl+Del to log in. So now just wait for a few seconds to pop up the server manager. So view removal in progress. So it's going to give you soon like removal succeeded on this server. So this is good, and now you are not be able to see the Active Directory and DNS on server manager. So this is good thing. So Win2K 16 DC01 is no more Active Directory and DNS server. We have successfully transferred all the migrated Active Directory, DNS and group policy to new server, which is Win2K 19 DC01, and you can see this machine is joined as a normal computer now on our domain controller. So this is good thing. And now let's verify by rebooting the client machine and verify the changes has been taken here. So I'm going to just reboot my both client machines. So it's going to take some time to get the reboot because it's doing Windows update. So I'm going to pause the recording, and once machine is rebooted, I'm going to resume from there. So now client machines are rebooted. So I'm going to log in to CL01 and just verify if logon server has been changed to and redirected to new domain controller. So I'm going to open command prompt and then type set. So now you can see logon server has been changed to Win2K 19 DC01. So this is good, and let's verify who am I. So I'm Victor InfoSol01. So this is good, and also you can check the NS lookup is working. So NS lookup is also working. So this is good. And just let's verify same thing on client 02 CL02. So login as a domain user 02. I'm going to go open command prompt cmd and then type set. Then we can see it's Win2K19 DC01 as a login server, and who am I? So this is Victor InfoSol user 02, and if I go here and type basically nslookup, so we can see nslookup is also working, so this is good. So we have migrated Active Directory from Win2K16 to Win2K19, and we have a decommission 2016 server from Active Directory and DNS roles, and we have verified our client machines are joined in my new domain controller, and everything is working, no issue on a client machines related to login and anything else. So this is all about Active Directory migration from Windows Server 2016 to Windows Server 2019 step by step. So thank you for watching, and please subscribe me for more videos, and if you have any query, any question related to this video, you can always post me on my given mail IDs. Thank you once again. Bye bye.